God just has wonderful plans and wonderful timing, and even tonight, it's already been a blessing. We went to dinner before this, and to listen to Chandler has been amazing. Chandler and I work at the exact same place. We both work for the Colts. He's on one side. We had to come to Decatur to actually meet. I've never met Chandler before, so it was good that we came to Decatur so I could meet Chandler. But I'm sure that now that we've talked, we'll be hanging out a lot more. And just an amazing young man, outspoken Christian, and just it's a wonderful example of what I get to be around. I work for the Indianapolis Colts. I'm a Colts community spokesperson. It's truly a fancy title for public speaker. You know, that's what we made up that title one day. We thought that was cool, so we just put that on there. Had business cards made, the whole deal, you know. But I public speak. I go around and I get to talk, but I'm very blessed with that job. And I'm blessed to be here because I came from a small town too. I grew up in Greenfield, Indiana. It's just east of Indianapolis. Just good people, a good community. My mom worked for the Red Cross growing up. And so I saw her give back to the community. I saw people with needs and problems, and I just saw my family address that. My dad has been a school teacher for 36 years in IPS. And I saw him work with a lot of kids that needed help. And I just saw my parents, they raised me right to be good people, to grow up in a small town, but to truly give back and to work hard for what you want out of life. But they taught me about loving my God, about loving Jesus. They grew me up in the church, and I'm so thankful for that. I truly am to have that nature. I grew up playing basketball. My dad was a basketball coach, luckily at a different school than I went to. Because that would have not worked out well. Great man, great coach, just glad he was coaching somewhere else. But I enjoyed high school. You know, I became a Christian when I was 14 years old. And then, much like a lot of people's story, I went off to college. I got bigger, I played lacrosse, but I got into things the ways of this world. You know, I got into a fraternity. Lucky, I was just very blessed. I quit going to church. I got away from God. I truly did. And after, 5 years later, I got out of school and came back to Indianapolis and got a job. And I felt there was something missing. And just out of pure, my mother called me every Sunday after they got back from Mass and said, did you go to church today? I said, no. She called me in, and just finally out of guilt one day I went back. I said, just to appease my mother, I will go back to church. When I walked back through those doors, I realized what I'd been missing. Not just being in a church, but missing that relationship that I had. Missing those things, those hard times that I was going through, that's what I'd been missing. And I slowly got back into my faith and my walk with my God. But that was the year 2000. And I had gotten a good job. It wasn't a dream job. I was a corporate recruiter at an insurance company. I was hiring people. I learned what I did, affected a lot of people. And I wanted to be a positive influence. But I wanted to know and let other people see in me what God was doing in my life. And it's hard sometimes at work. It's hard in the places we around our friends. It's hard to be that same guy, that same person at church as we are other places. But then 2001 came along. And I was driving to work a normal day in my car, listening to the radio, and my phone rang. And I picked it up, and it was a good friend, and she had been watching TV, and she told me about the towers being hit. And it was 9/11 in 2001. I quickly drove to work. I turned on the TV, and I watched the horrific events of that day take place. And it weighed on my heart to watch that, and I didn't quite understand why so many innocent lives were lost. I didn't understand why this had to happen to us, people I knew, friends of friends. But I also watched our first responders, from our firefighters to our policemen, to citizens unselfishly go into harm's way. Some gave their lives to save other people. And that too weighed on my heart. And I did a lot of thinking about it, a lot of praying about my decisions. And I knew I was able to serve this country. I was a big kid. I played sports my whole life. I believed in serving. My father served during Vietnam in the Marine Corps. My grandfather served in Northern Africa in World War II. So in 2003, after a lot of deliberation, I decided I would join the United States Marine Corps. In 2004, at the age of 27, I left for boot camp and quickly realized that 27 is not young to join the Marine Corps. Nobody had told me that. I thought, all right, I'll go, and I'll look around, and everybody said 18, 17, 19, 27, okay, I got it. And they did. They called me Grandpa, old man. I'm like, oh, you guys are hilarious. But 13 weeks of this stuff with the Marine Corps boot camp, but it was hard. It had been pushed me mentally and physically beyond anything I've been pushed before. And And during boot camp and Marine Corps training, it's 24 hours a day. Those drill instructors are in your face all hours a day. There's only one single hour out of every week that you are left alone. 1 hour out of 24 hours, 7 days a week that you're left alone. And that's on Sunday mornings. Every Marine goes to church on Sunday mornings in boot camp. You were just standing there, and you can see out of the corner of your eye, you can see the drill instructor standing in the windows yelling. You can tell they're waiting on you. Even though that was a relief, it was really to get me back. I was there not to only get away from those guys, but to really, concentrate and pray. It was a time of me to have time in relationship with my Lord.